Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for the World Animal Reiki Day celebration. This is a really exciting time for us. I can't believe Kathleen and I were talking, I don't know, maybe at the beginning of this last month, and realized it's the 10th year, the 10-year anniversary of when she started World Animal Reiki Day back in 2016. And she started, thank you, Angela. She started World Animal Reiki Day as a way to create a special day for all of us as animal Reiki. Thanks, Liza. Liza said, awesome, as animal Reiki practitioners to honor animals, and not only animal Reiki practitioners, it's really for anyone who loves animals. And it's a day for us to show gratitude and thanks to the animals for all that they bring us, for being our teachers and healers, for having patience with us, for teaching us all these beautiful lessons that they teach us. And I want to take a quick hot second and welcome Joni. I haven't seen Joni in forever, so I'm really excited that she's here and joining us. So wanted to stop for a minute and acknowledge her. But World Animal Reiki Day is a day that all of us, no matter what lineage, no matter if you are a Reiki practitioner or not, it is a day where we ask that you just take a few minutes and maybe you light a candle and you just think about all the different animals that have affected you in your life. Maybe you go back to when you were a child. I think about, oh, I can tell already. This is going to be a pretty weepy session. You think back to the animals that you had when you were young and the lessons that they taught you and how you've grown as an animal lover. Because, of course, as children, everyone here was an animal lover, right? But maybe, when you're as old as I am, 62, the way you might have raised animals or treated animals is a lot different now than it was then because we didn't know a lot back then. Most animals were sleeping outside back then. Our dogs didn't, but there were a lot of dogs in our neighborhood that slept outside. They had dog houses, right? Dog houses were really popular in the 60s and 70s. And we didn't treat them the way we do now. So sometimes we can have a lot of guilt about that. A lot of guilt when we think back to our previous animals. Don't have guilt. Our animals love us for who we are. Here's a newsflash. They do not see us as perfect. They do not see us as these gods. They see us as the screwed up, chaotic humans that we are, and they still sit with us with love and understanding because unlike us, animals love without judgment. Animals love completely and wholly. There is no but when you get love from an animal. So with humans, like a good example is a new mother. Oh, I love my baby, but I'm not getting any sleep, right? Oh, I love, having kids, but there's always a but in the room. With animals, there's no but. They just love you unconditionally, purely. And it's just a beautiful thing for us to take even just a few minutes. And tomorrow is the official World Animal Reiki Day, but we're going to do it a little bit today too. Just stop and thank them. Thank all the animals in your life. Maybe animals you don't even know. Maybe you are obsessed, like I am, with the animals of Africa, and you just thank them for all the beauty they bring to this world and all of the support that they give to us, whether we're in their presence or not. These animals inspire us. Like, I don't know about all of you, but I am so obsessed with on social media watching like the dodo um, films and any type of story where they're talking about a really feel good animal story. And just it's constant over and over. The message is animals forgive and forgive lovingly and openly. And we could learn a lot from that. So I want to take a second and just acknowledge the chat here. Yeah, Monica said here in Croatia, it is still like that so often where the dogs have to sleep outside and it gets really, really cold. And then, yeah, and then Claudia responded by saying she's so grateful that Monica and her coworkers are there to help the dogs. And Monica, I really hope that you'll share a story or two because you have some really beautiful stories out of Croatia. So, Monica, for those of you who don't know, she is on staff at a dog shelter that has anywhere from 400 to 500 dogs. And she is a Let Animals Lead practitioner. And she studied with me a few years ago, and it really changed how she connects with the animals there, and it's really changed kind of the energy of the rescue there, the shelter there. So I'm looking forward to her sharing with us. But just really quickly, just for those of you who may not be familiar with World Animal Reiki Day. So like I said, Kathleen started this as a way to honor all animals. She also started this as a way to highlight the benefits of animal Reiki. So for a lot of the Sarah members, we're in shelters or we're talking or we're teaching about animal Reiki. So it's a way for us to amplify that, right? To get out and tell more people how amazing animal Reiki is. And even if you're not a Let Animals Lead practitioner, maybe you are a practitioner of a different lineage of animal Reiki, or maybe you just love animals and you know the benefit of meditation with animals. Just spreading the word and sharing with people how important animals are to our world is really what this is about. And again, today, tonight, light a candle and sit and honor the animals and sit and honor maybe the people who care for those animals, right? So, like, I know that I always think about Monica when I think about her organization, and we can send just love to Monica and gratitude for the amazing work that she does. And I think that also another thing that we can do is, especially tomorrow, because the energy is going to be amplified, right? I know that Kathleen, if you're part of her Mighty Networks community, she's going to be doing something. I know that there are people around the world that are going to be doing a little bit of celebration, and energy knows no time or space. So when we all collectively have an intention of sending gratitude to the animals, I'm 100% certain it is going to raise the energy of this world, of everybody that we know, every animal that we've ever touched, even those animals that we've never touched. Our energy has the power to heal and support and change what's happening. I've just been doing so much studying, just meditation and spirituality. And I don't care what you're doing, even if you're doing drugs, all roads lead to love, all roads. So, if you talk to drug addicts, right, one of the things that they're focused on is love, like how they feel when they're taking drugs. But whether you do yoga or you do Buddhism or you're Catholic or you do animal Reiki or whatever spiritual path you're on, that road leads you to love because at the end of the day, love is what heals. And that is what all the masters say. At the end of it all is it ends in love. And love has the power to create change. So if we could all remember that when we're thinking about animals and when we're focusing on World Animal Reiki Day, just know in your heart that change is possible. Change can come about just with you sending love. So I want to share, and then I'm going to open it up because I want to give lots of time for all of us to share about the animals that have touched our lives. And then we'll do the World Animal Reiki prayer at the end. And I'm going to play the YouTube that Kathleen does because she reads it so beautifully, and she is the one that created this beautiful prayer. But before I get to all of you, I want to share with you a couple of situations that happened on World Animal Reiki Day. And I know some of you have heard this, so apologies for repeating it again. But for those of you who haven't, it is so powerful when we go and we approach an animal with gratitude in our hearts. And I think that for us humans, when we say thank you or we're showing gratitude, since we say it so often in our normal human world, sometimes we don't realize the impact of what it means when we go to an animal with gratitude in our hearts. So one year for World Animal Reiki Day, I took a group. Well, I've done this a couple times. So this is kind of two or three different trips that these things happened on. But when we went to the zoo, we do the precepts. You know, the precepts are a great way to get grounded and to bring gratitude into your heart. And then all I tell everybody to do is for every animal that you approach, you stop and you tell them how grateful you are for all the joy that they bring to the people at the zoo or whatever that is that you're grateful for in your heart, right? But that was my example. And that's what I was doing, right? So I'm going up to each animal and just sharing how incredibly grateful I am that they are there and just all the joy that they bring to these people, to the children that come to see them. And what happened on multiple occasions at the zoo. So you're at this is why I want to share this example because the zoo, there's people, right? The animals are usually pretty far back from you. They're in cages. They're not really necessarily connecting normally with you. But when I went for World Animal Reiki Day, and that was our objective to go and be grateful to each and every one of these animals. The animals responded in the biggest way. It was incredible how the animals connected. Some of the animals would be up at the front of their enclosures, and people would remark how, oh, wow, I've never seen like the jaguars this close. And we could say, oh, that's a coincidence, but it happens over and over and over. And my friend Lindsay and I, she's a Let Animals Lead practitioner, and when you take one of our classes, level 2 and up, you learn chanting. And so we were chanting, and what happens with snakes, like this was at CARE, I only know this because of CARE. We used to be able to go into the snake room and chant. And what would happen is like the black mambas, the green mambas, the rattlers, the boas, they would crawl up the glass like an L shape and they would press their bodies against the glass because, the vibration that you're creating. But when Lindsay and I went into, it was a room and it had a huge anaconda. I mean, it was at least 10 feet long. And then it had like some geckos and other little things, but that was the only snake that was there. So Lindsay and I were chanting Chokurei very softly, just, oh, not loud or anything. And all of a sudden, the anaconda started to move and started to go up the, like between kind of the glass and the wall and just started going up. And people were coming in going, oh my God, what is that snake doing? That is so weird. And we were just like, oh my gosh, he's totally or she, I don't know if it was female or male, is responding to this energy that we're creating, even though for us it's so low. We think, oh, how can the snake possibly even feel this vibration? We can barely feel the vibration, right? But the intent of gratitude, the intent of the energy of dedicating the Chokurei chant, and it was more like we'll do Chokurei because Chokurei is very grounding. The chant is very grounding and snakes are very grounded. So it was more like, oh, I bet that'll really help us to feel the energy of it. So it could be the snake was just joining in and amplifying that energy because it was very strong. But of course, in our humanness, we're like, oh, it's just, it's low, it's this. You make excuses. And then another experience I had was there was a little baby elephant, and I was actually by myself because it was first thing in the morning that we did the group, and the rest of the group was kind of out. And so this little baby elephant was in like a pond area, and she was just sitting in the water, and she wasn't paying any attention to me. And so I went up and I was sending gratitude to her. And all of a sudden, she just started to play peekaboo in the water. She started to go down and put her nose up, and then she'd pop up and poke her eyes out. And I was like smiling, and I thought, oh, is there anybody behind me? And I was looking, and no. And she just kept doing it. And I was like laughing and going, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And that energy that we were sharing today, and of course, she's a baby, right? So babies are usually more playful and open. And it was such a beautiful experience. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So then another one that I had, and this one was the funniest. Well, I'll share another one. There were a couple with the cats, and I know many of you have heard this, but for those of you who are new on the call, I'll share this one. at the Oregon Zoo, they had baby lion cubs. I think it was like in 2015 they were born. So when I went for World Animal Reiki Day, it was probably 2019 because they were older. Um, but one of the cutest things about the lions when they were young, there was one little female cub that was really, you could tell she was so bratty. And there was a rock that they all could sit on. And the mom was sitting on the rock just looking out. And the little baby was being bratty under the mom. And you could tell the mom was kind of nudging her, like, stop. And then finally, and this is such a great lesson for all of us, it was the compassion lesson really. All of a sudden she just went whack and the baby went flying off the rock somewhere. And I was like, you know what? It's like that's when no, no, no. Boundaries, you know what I mean? And she wasn't going to hurt her baby. It was just like, no, that's not acceptable. So I thought that was so funny. But going back to them when they were a little bit older, there's always a crowd around the lions. And I'm sharing this with you because I want you to understand that the energy that we bring when we come into these places with animals of gratitude is much different than the energy of the people that are like watching the lions or just observing the lions or just like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Oh wow, look, oh, this is cool kind of thing. So there was probably about five or seven, I don't know. We had a decent sized little group and we went up, but we were behind this big crowd of people. And the lions were laying up on their rocks and they were looking off and they're a good 20, 30 feet away. And so I said, just go into gratitude. Everybody's going into gratitude. And all of a sudden the lions like go, what? And they start looking over at us. And one of the ladies said, "Oh my God, are they looking at us?" And it's like, yeah, they're looking at us because the energy, you can imagine, it's like all this chaotic energy, and all of a sudden there's light. And that's going to get your attention, right? And so they were looking at us, they were locking in. And I had that same experience with another student. I took her, I don't think it was that one, I think it was a different group, one of the other World Animal Reiki days, where we went over to the tiger that never, he's always way back in his enclosure and he's got like a moat. So he's far back from you. And she was a little disappointed that he was so far back. And I said, it's fine. We're just gonna, it doesn't matter. We don't need him to come forward to us. We just need to show our gratitude for him. And, after about 5 minutes, he came all the way up as close as he could to the edge of his moat to get as close to us as possible. And people were again commenting, oh my, I think his name is Timothy or Tim the tiger. And they were saying, oh my gosh, he never comes out. I've never seen, so you're constantly getting these reassurances that it's happening. This connection is real. This connection is deep. But we as humans want to say, oh no, I can't, oh, it's probably a coincidence. It's probably this, it's probably that. And I'm guilty of that, right? I've been doing this for, oh my gosh, going on 18 years, 19 years. And so I know that. I mean, still to this day, I'll be like, did they really? Is that really? And you go back home and you're like, yeah, yeah, they really did. I remember one of my students, she's a photographer, and she went to the zoo in the UK on World Animal Reiki Day. And she was going with gratitude and she was taking pictures. And she came back and she said, yeah, nothing happened. They were just really unobservant and they didn't really connect with me. And I said, oh, wow, that's really weird because I'm sure that, there was some connection. And she goes, well, actually, when I looked at my pictures, all the animals were looking straight at me. And I'm like, oh, okay. So you were just caught up in your picture taking and didn't realize the animals actually were connecting with her. So when we think about, going to a zoo and you might think, oh, well, that's impossible. The animals aren't going to feel me. They're not going to connect with me. Trust me, they are. And they're so grateful when we go to them with gratitude because it's every being wants to be seen, heard, and appreciated. And so when we take a minute to appreciate animals, to tell them that we love them and we're so grateful for them, that means something and it's incredibly powerful. And that's why World Animal Reiki Day has been so successful. And that is why I'm so grateful to this day because it's such a great reminder that you don't have to have a perfect condition to have a connection with an animal. Everything doesn't have to be quiet, or you don't have to be the only person in the room. These kind of things happen all the time. And in fact, I was reminded of this, and Claudia, you'll remember this. I taught a class at Nama Stables in British Columbia, and Nama Stables is a horse boarding facility, but she has a llama or an alpaca, sorry, and she has goats and bunnies and then horses. And this little alpaca, and Claudia, you can unmute if you can remember his name. He was very aloof, like, and the owner, Jackie said, he doesn't really interact with humans. He just kind of likes to watch. But what was really interesting is because we never focus on an animal and this was a level 2 class, it was an animal Reiki for Reiki practitioners class. So we're focused on going inward, right? We're not focused on the animals. And if the animals respond, it's great, but we're not focused on that. And I saw in one of our retreat emails that we were promoting our retreat that's coming up this weekend, there was a picture of one of the students, and the little alpaca was standing there, absorbing energy. And so if you look at the picture, you think, oh, they're doing Reiki and this animal is connecting. But right, Claudia, he was not part of the class at all. So go ahead.
Oh, I what I remember was yeah, how he would just look at us when we were sitting quite a while, quite far away from where he was, but every time you'd look over, he would be there just, looking at us like, okay, what are they doing? This is interesting. It was so funny. His name was Jolene, by the way.
Oh yeah, Jolene. It was like a funny name for a boy. But what was really interesting was because back me up here, Claudia. I don't know if you had a different impression, but he never came out yet. Here, somebody captured this picture of him with, I think it was Priscilla, was sitting, and here he was sharing it. And I never observed that. I don't know that
Oh
because
yeah,
nobody
I
really
I
commented.
saw I saw him look over all the time, all
He
the
looked
time.
over, but this one he's out of the fence. He's
Oh,
out
out
of
of the
the
yeah,
fence.
because usually he stayed in his little shed. Yeah, that's
Yes,
true. Yes, yeah,
yes. And so this
yeah,
one he's out. So that was really quite
yeah. I
amazing.
think it was also him. Sorry for interrupting, but at one point, didn't she let him in the
Oh,
where how
into
do
the
you
barn?
call it, where the horses run around? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm Dutch,
yeah.
right? So I hard time remembering the words. The
The round
Well, you
pen.
know what I mean.
Yeah,
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 the round pen. And he was just standing there in the door opening, still watching us. It was so cute, but not in a he was not scared or stressed. You could just tell that he was intrigued. It
yeah.
was so he always made me laugh. He was so funny.
He was. He was amazing. He was so great. So I want to open it up to all of you because I'm talking too much, as used. So I want to open it up, and don't worry if you talk over somebody. I'll pay attention and I'll figure out who is who is talking. So just unmute, or you can raise your hand, whatever you want to do, whatever feels more civilized. But I really would love for you to share about an animal that means something to you, and just a little story about it. Doesn't even have to be animal Reiki, it could be any story. So, who is going to be first? And thank you, Claudia, for that. I appreciate that. So if you don't come up, oh, go ahead. Yes. Angela, yes. Oh, Angela, did you unmute to speak?
Did, but it looked like somebody else was going to speak.
Okay, well, we'll go with you and then we'll go with the next person because I grabbed you
All right,
first.
well, thank you so much. So I'd been volunteering with a wildlife rehabilitator and offering Reiki to all of the wildlife in her care. She has over 50 animals that have to overwinter here in Northern Virginia because they were born so late in the season, they weren't strong enough or old enough to be released out into the wild. So I actually just got my permit through the state of Virginia to be an official assistant for her. And
Oh,
I've really connected with the foxes, the raccoons, the skunks. So I'm allowed, because I'm permitted, to sit in their habitats with them. And it's interesting because the foxes have actually like gotten on my lap.
oh, wow.
The skunks have like crawled up onto my lap. And it's just been really magical to be able to support her wildlife rescue and rehabilitation efforts by being able to offer Reiki to the animals in her care. So
Yes.
that's been
Oh
really
my,
special for me. So thank you
oh
for
my,
letting me share that.
yeah, of course. That's so amazing. And how, I mean, my gosh, the first time that happened, that must have been so like, oh my God. I
I mean,
love
yeah,
it.
it absolutely. It's hard to put into words.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And thank you so much for the work you're doing. That's so wonderful. And how do they feel about Reiki there at the rehabilitation center? Do they know about it or um, are they just kind of like, oh, the animals are calm with you? Great, perfect.
Well, when I first started to volunteer with her, she really wasn't very familiar with Reiki at all. But she did notice that the animals were really comfortable with me and they wanted to be near me and get on me. Like if I sat on the ground, they would literally like crawl into my lap, which she said was very unusual. She
Mhm.
hadn't really seen that with her other volunteers before. So then when I mentioned to her that I do animal Reiki, we started to chat about it. And she's an MRI technician, so she totally understands energy. So it made a lot of sense to her. So that's when she said, well, you really, I will sponsor you. You should apply to get your permit. And I had to get like the rabies vaccination, pre-exposure, just because I'm, hands-on with
Right.
if the animals want me to be. But I do help her. So like in the spring when it's baby season, I'll be bottle feeding, like the baby squirrels and raccoons and foxes. But of course, I'll be offering Reiki to them at the same time.
Nice. Thank you so much. I love that. And I love that you shared that because I know a lot of people want to get involved in that type of thing. So thank you for sharing that. That's great.
Thank you.
So I know that there was someone else who unmuted at the same time as Angela. Oh, Elle. Okay, great. Go ahead and unmute. Hey, welcome.
Hi, thank you. It's my first time. I tried to get on the call last week, but wasn't able to. It's good to be here.
Oh, oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'm glad
I
you're here
wasn't
too.
I wasn't available. I couldn't
Oh, you weren't
align.
available. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
So
and I'm at work now, but I'm making it happen.
nice. Thank you.
I'm just very drawn to your work, and there's a few reasons. I do have my 1 and 2 attunement in general Reiki.
Hmm.
So maybe it's that. A kitty cat that is palliative terminal with a tumor. And I practice Reiki often with her. Her name's Quinoa, also known as Kiki. And I also get a lot of squirrels drawn to me that are injured. Like they'll cross right in my path, and it's one of my animal totems. So just following the energy. When I practice Reiki with my cat, every single time, and it just, my heart just floods with so much love, she gives it back right
Yeah.
away. She'll either say no, thank you, like a clear no, not now. And other times she gives it back. And lately it's been more and more like the love, just the floodgates. So
Oh my God, that's
I don't know, common
beautiful.
experience. It's very, it's a loop, right?
Yes, exactly. Thank you for saying that. Exactly. It's not like giving and receiving, it's an infinity. It goes back and forth. Yeah. Love that. Thank you so much, Elle. Appreciate you. So, Karen, yes, yay.
Hi guys. Excuse my speaking right now. I'm healing myself from a car accident. But
Oh,
but um but
it's a pleasure.
I'm remembering right now my first dog that I got as an adult. Her name was Jenna, and she was a little chocolate brown Cocker Spaniel. That was in 1992. And in 2005, as she started getting older, that's what started my journey learning Reiki, so that I could be there for her to help her as she aged. Um, and interestingly, a little aside is just through this healing journey right now of my own. It's been it's interesting to remember to incorporate what we all do for the animals, and just focus on all is well, and not focusing on what is wrong, just all is well. So I feel like it's the everything comes full circle, where what we do to help the animals then later comes to help us too.
Yes, I love that. That's such a great lesson because it's so true, right? What we put out, we receive back, right? I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And speedy recovery, I know that oh, Claudia said beautifully said, and then Rebecca said wishing you a speedy recovery, Karen. And let's see. Yes. So yeah, thank you so much, Karen, because that is so true, right? We don't realize it either, right? We think, oh, we're doing this great thing, or we're sharing animal Reiki, and it's great and it makes us feel good. But then, like in these times, like what you're experiencing right now, we get it back and we get that same loving support from our animals. And like Elle said, the same thing, right? You know, there is no, I'm going to take and or I'm going to give. It's just you're in that energy where it's constantly love and constantly giving and receiving. So thank you. And you look beautiful, by the way. And
Thank you.
wishing you a speedy, speedy recovery, like what was said.
Thank you.
So Liza, hey Liza, let you unmute.
Hello. I wasn't sure I was gonna be able to make it today. I'm like in between clients. I had just enough time to come
Oh,
on
yay,
the call to.
good. I'm glad you got here.
Yeah, me too. Thank you. It's so good to see you and everybody else. I love
Good.
hearing everybody's stories. Um, I have so many stories. I started studying with Kathleen and Leah in 2008.
Yes.
So yeah, and then just retake classes over time. So you might have heard these, I can't remember, Leah, but two of my most favorite stories. One was I live in Oregon, and so we have, really beautiful wetlands and stuff here. And one day, this was early on, probably just a couple of years into Reiki for me. I was at one of the nature parks and it was wintertime and I was all bundled up and had gloves on and everything. And I'm like, is this really going to work? I'm so cold. But I just want to be out here and connect, right? And so I stood and there was water on the other side of this path. And then there was an island out in the middle. And there was a snowy egret, which, if you don't know what that is, blue heron, they're the long necked birds that have long legs, but it's all white. And he did this peekaboo thing, like you were talking about earlier, Leah, where he would, I was, I'm just set my attention and I'm standing there and I'm pretty far from him, but he totally knew I was there. And there was like grasses, tall grasses, and he would walk behind the grasses and duck his head down. And then he would pop his head up, or he would pop his head over like this to the other side of the grass. And sometimes he would walk out all the way and look at me. And it was just this dance that he did back and forth. And I mean, we did that for probably 35 minutes. It was amazing.
Oh
So
my God.
cool.
I love that. I don't remember that story.
I might not have shared that one. This other one I want to share, I think I might have shared with you. Uh,
Mhm.
one of the times that we went to the zoo for World Animal Reiki Day, one of my favorite animals is bats. And I wish we had a bat sanctuary. No, thank you. Come here. Mila, come here. I wish we had a bat sanctuary here and I would totally volunteer there. But so I was sitting in the bat cave. And sorry, I have a dog that Mila, come here, please. Come here. You're okay. So I sat on this little stool kind of thing that was built attached to the ground. And I was sitting with the bats, sitting hands up in my lap, just sitting like this in
Mhm.
meditation with the bats, totally in my mode. And I sensed something and I opened my eyes and there was a little girl that was no more than 3. She was walking, so she was, big enough that she was walking. She was 2 or 3, and she had her hands over my hands. And she was just standing there. And I'm like, I looked over and see her mom, and I'm like, she sees that I'm kind of like, is this okay? And she's like, she totally knows what you're doing. And
Oh,
she was sharing in the energy with me. It still makes me tear up. I'm like, it was so cool.
oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I don't remember that story, but then,
Oh, maybe I didn't. I mean, I have a lot.
I love that though. I love it because kids are so close to that. They don't have
Right.
the mindset that this isn't possible or that I don't feel this or whatever that is. But oh my gosh, yeah. And I mean, and you know firsthand how incredible those days are at the zoo when we go. It's
Wonderful.
just amazing how they just respond to us. Because I think you were in the group with the lions when the lions were looking at us.
I think so.
Yeah, that it just it's so magical to go to the zoo and just and be open-minded, right? Like even when you're out in nature, like with the heron, just be open-minded. You never know who is going to connect with you. Or like with Elle, she's got these little injured squirrels going across her path. Be open to what's possible. And then don't worry about having to fix anything. Your love, your energy is enough. Like we're always so, oh, am I enough? Am I enough? Yes, you are enough. But I just want to say really quickly, Angela said, your sweet dog's love for you is so adorable and so awesome. And which
Thank
dog
you.
is this? This is,
This is Scarlett, and
yeah,
she's been
Scarlet.
having so much medical trouble lately and
Oh,
been in and
Scarlet.
out of that a lot. But I mean, you've seen me on calls when I could come more regular. She's always like this.
No, she is. She's
This is how we
definitely.
roll.
And
Thank
then
you.
Wilma said, awesome, Liza. So thank you so much, Liza. I really appreciate you taking
Thank
time
you.
coming. Love
So
seeing
happy to be here. Love seeing you
you.
too.
Mwah. Nancy.
Hi. Yeah.
Hi.
Um, One story is from my experience at the Care Foundation with you. Um, was really amazing when you had us just go with our book to color.
Mhm.
And you said, you're not doing Reiki, you're just coloring. You're just going to sit there and color and just see what happens. And, at first I'm like, what's this about? Right. And then I sat down there and I'm coloring, and all of a sudden, one of the tigers, and I can't remember what name of the tiger it was, but came and just sat right there, right in front of where I was. And you could just tell that, you know, he or she was so relaxed, just, you know, being
Yeah.
right there, just, because my energy was so calm, and the tiger wanted to be there. So that was really sweet and powerful to experience that.
Well, and you weren't doing Reiki, but the things that you were doing was your energy was calm, but your energy was one of gratitude, right? Because when that's the first thing we did, and so you're there, you're excited, you see a tiger that's coming close and relaxing, and there's like, oh my gosh, he's actually relaxing in my presence, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that energy that you're emanating, it doesn't have to be like we don't have to be doing something, right? Because like you were saying, you were just coloring yet. And remember how the property just gets so quiet and
Mhm.
everybody gets so calm because everyone is just coloring and going inward and just absorbing what's going on around them, right?
Yeah.
I love that. Yes, I do remember that. I think that was Tyrion
Yeah.
that
Might have been.
I
Mhm.
think it was. And Tyrion's kind of he's more wild than the other ones, right? And so he doesn't necessarily come and relax, but yeah. And they get so excited when we go there too, right? Because they know what's going to happen. But I mean, and that was the one weekend too. Nancy, remember that Ngozi was out the entire weekend, which
Yeah.
Ngozi is a crocodile. And Ngozi, if you go to care, sometimes he's out. He has a big pond area. And sometimes if you go out, he'll come out. But he was out the entire weekend. And it wasn't even that hot.
I know. Yeah.
And he usually doesn't come out unless it's hot.
Yeah. And I also had another sweet moment with the liger, the tiger and lion that got red. um, and that was sweet too. And that I was doing Reiki at that point, um,
How do you
and
raise hand?
Oh, it's okay.
and
Sorry.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty new, to animal Reiki. I've only been doing it a few years, and I still have, the self-doubts that come up. And so while I was sitting there with, is it Chimera? Is that how you say
Yeah. Yeah.
it? With
Yeah.
Chimera, um, his head was down, and he had his eyes open and he was looking at me, and then all of a sudden he just picked his head up and he looked directly at me, and I started to cry, and I felt like he was communicating to me like, you've got this,
Yeah.
you know how to do this. And that's the message that I like literally felt like I was hearing in my head, but it was coming from the line. And I just started crying, and that was beautiful too.
And so powerful, right? So
Yeah.
powerful because we go in there with so much doubt. Is
Yeah.
this really working? Can they really feel it? And what I love too about that is, it's not about animal communication. When we're calm and when we're quiet, our mind's quiet so we can actually hear what's kind of trying to come through. And I love that you heard that loud and clear, that message was just like, it's working, you've got this. You've got this. And yeah, and it's overwhelming emotionally when that happens because you feel deeply that connection, right? You could feel that this is just me and him and this is for me. And it's just amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Nancy. That was a really powerful lesson, I think, um, for you as a practitioner, but for all of us to hear that and be reminded that even though we may not be feeling it very strongly, it is happening, it is working. And I love that for you. Thank you. So glad you're here too. Thank you. So, Claudia, I'm going to lower your hand here. Actually, I'm going to mute all and then I'm going to have you unmute, Claudia. Okay, great. There you go. I'm going to lower your hand and oops, I don't know where she went. Can you
Yep.
talk? Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, so when you talked about the picture, I realized that I was the one who took it. So I looked,
Oh,
yeah, I know, right? So I looked it up on my phone. Unfortunately, I don't have it on my laptop because I usually don't share save stuff in the cloud. So I'm just going to try if you guys can see it like
oh
this.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
there he
going to
is. There's little Jolene.
yeah. And she was just standing there looking at me. This is
Oh, but
cool.
we can't hear you anymore now
Oh,
that you're
sorry.
done.
She
That's
was just
okay.
standing there like, this is so cool. This
Yes, I know. I remember that photo. It was just because when we got there, Jolene was very aloof, very not engaged, not looking at us. And I remember when you took that and shared it, it was like, wow, that's so powerful. And our energy is so powerful. We have to remember that especially as we go into World Animal Reiki Day, remember your energy is so big. It's so loving and it's like imagine you're like the sun and animals, people, nature is attracted to you, but we want to sit and think, oh, this isn't happening, or oh, I'm not good enough, right? Like there's that part of us, and it's like what Nancy experienced, that you're sitting there and all of a sudden you're just overwhelmed with the acceptance and the acknowledgement that yes, this is enough. And I remember too with you, Claudia, just all the different animals like the cows and the pigs and even Millie, is it Millie the horse? The big black and white one. What was her name?
Matilda.
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 Matilda, and how just loving she was. And we have some great pictures of you with her, and she's like, just so much gratitude they have for us when we finally open up and let go, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Yeah.
it's just amazing. And I didn't know if you had anything else you want to share. Oh, okay, well, thank you for showing that picture of Jolene. So, Alice, yes. Let's get you up. And there you go. For some reason, there's a delay, so I don't see right away. So you need to start talking, I think, Alice.
Okay, you got me now.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just thinking about, when you were saying it doesn't have to be perfect, quiet and, the perfect kind of atmosphere, because what I found is when there's a lot of noise and a lot of stress around, that's when the animals really just drop into a trance because it's such a relief from them. And they're really attracted to it, and it's like it takes them away from all the noise. And it's not what I was expecting when I first started doing it. I thought, oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to work with this because there's too much noise going on. But it just seems to be the opposite, that that is when they really do accept it, and that's what they want.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you said that and pointed that out because that's exactly right. That we think, and again, this goes back to our limiting beliefs, right? We think, oh, they can't feel it, they can't hear it, they can't sense it because there's too much distraction. Because us as humans, right, we get so distracted, we can't calm down because of the chaos. But they don't have all of those limiting beliefs and all of this crap going around in their mind. It's like when they decide to connect, boom, they can connect. They don't have to,
Yeah,
do the dry bathing, do the precepts. Okay, I'm going to go into this space. They just do it. And especially, I know for you, you're working with horses too. And horses are amazing. Just getting in
yeah.
that space.
And that's often when they look straight at you as a, yeah, okay, I got this. This is what I want, kind of thing.
Yes. Yes, definitely. I mean, that's a really powerful lesson too. It's like, again, don't worry about the noise. Just worry about you, right,
Mm,
Alice? Just
yeah, yeah,
worry about your energy and not
yeah,
what's happening.
exactly. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you. And it's so great to see you, Alice.
Yeah,
Thank
good to be
you.
here.
And I've been thinking about y'all too because it's the year of the fire horse, and I know you love horses as much as I do. And
Yeah, yeah.
excited. We're going to talk about that when fire horse energy comes. So thank you.
Right.
So anyone else want to share? Um, anyone want to? Oh, great, Mel. Yes. So
Hello,
let's.
hello.
Hello.
Happy almost Animal World Reiki Day.
Yes. Very excited.
Um, as you know, I have many wildlife stories and things like that, but my most recent one is this. There was a cat that I've known for many years, and about 2 years ago, the owner abandoned him. They
Oh,
left him behind, and all he knows is the neighborhood that he grew up in. About a year and a half ago, I took him in because he was so skinny and he almost died because he didn't know where to go for food, and had him in for a week, and I treated him and I fed him, and then he bounced. He ran out because he was indoor outdoor. Unfortunately, I don't know who he came to me many times. But we had a massive nor'easter of 30 inches of snow last week. And the day before, I prayed and I put it out there in the universe and I said, please do what you can to bring him to me. And I was outside feeding the squirrels and the birds the day before, making sure they have enough to get through the storm. And I sent Reiki to him because I was able to connect with him on visual telepathic levels many times before due to with Reiki, just sending it to him, and he showed up while I was feeding the squirrels,
oh my gosh.
which is was a miracle, a complete miracle. And he I have an animal trap. I put the trap out. He got in it, and the bowl was too close to the latch, so he didn't step on it. We tried it a second time. He got in, so I've had him with me now for the last almost 2 weeks. He lost his ear.
Oh,
One of his ears is gone due to frostbite and an injury. He literally scratched it off. It's so bad, but he doesn't let anyone get close to him. He loves Reiki. It is the most calming thing for him. He is in heaven right now, and he gets it every day when I get home. I already have 6 animals. And he is just another addition to my family. That's all, you know.
I love
And every
that.
day he gets his Reiki sessions, he loves it. He comes out and he lays next to me and we just he purrs. Without Reiki, you know, I mean, yes, I could bring him somewhere he could get medical treatment and stuff, but the emotional and psychological benefits that Reiki can provide to animals with PTSD and trauma and abandonment issue and anything like that is so tremendous. I mean,
Yeah.
the physical benefits, yes, but the stuff that we don't see
Yeah.
is where our animal Reiki, not just, you know, what we do is so massive, so massive. I will always be so grateful to have, you know, taken my class with you, obviously, and you know, and being a part of this, but it's so amazing. You see those transformations with these animals. And you know, he's helping heal me as well. I haven't been able to ground myself, and I haven't done too many sessions because I've had so much stress, but him coming into my life this way, we're healing each other.
Yeah.
But it's
I
amazing.
love
It is
that.
absolutely amazing. And I'll come back and give an update on it. But he's just it's truly, truly a gift and a miracle, and I will always be grateful for this.
That's so beautiful, and I love that for you. And sometimes these animals that need help come into our lives when I mean, it may seem like, oh, this isn't a good time, or I'm really stressed out, but they're there to help us to let go of what's going on in our life and to be open to just holding space for them. Because when we do that, we all heal, right? No, no. Oh, Mel put herself on mute. So,
Oh, yeah, 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 absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you for coming, Mel. It's always so great seeing you. So, we are getting to time. So, I want us to listen to the World Animal Reiki Day prayer. You might want to grab a tissue because this is a very beautiful prayer that Kathleen created. When she created the day, she wrote this beautiful poem that includes all animals. So, I will. Think let us first, we'll get in the space. We'll bring our hands into Gasho at our hearts. And you can close your eyes if you like. And just take a couple cleansing breaths here, breathing in deeply through your nose, pulling your breath deep into your belly. And on the out breath, releasing that breath through your mouth. And with your breath goes all stress. And just a couple more of those to bring centering and grounding into your body with your breath. And then, whenever you feel calm and centered, just take a moment and dedicate the energy that is going to be created with this beautiful poem to maybe an animal in your life. You can dedicate it to all sentient beings. You can dedicate it to a group of animals, whatever you feel drawn to do. And then, of course, we want to keep Kelly in this beautiful healing energy. And whenever you're ready, you can bring your hands face up or face down in your lap. And just going to, even though it worked earlier, I'm going to go ahead and share the computer audio. And please put in chat if you can't hear anything.
Hi, this is Kathleen Prasad, and I would like to welcome you all to World Animal Reiki Day. And I have created a special prayer just for this day, the World Animal Reiki Day prayer. To all animals, domesticated and wild, you are in my heart today. Those used cruelly for food production, those who find themselves hunted, those who lose their lives in the name of science and research, those dwelling in zoos and wildlife parks, those lucky to be safe in loving homes, those rescued and waiting for their forever family in shelters, those blessed to find respite in sanctuaries, those who are healthy, those who are facing physical, emotional, or spiritual challenges, those who are babies newly born on this earth, those in the prime of life, those winding down, or those ready to cross the rainbow bridge. May your body be comfortable, safe, and well. May your mind be happy, peaceful, and radiant like the sky. May your spirit be in harmony, balance, and unity with the universe. May you be respected, cherished, liberated, and free. And to all humans on this earth, may you be embraced with well-being and harmony. May you walk the path of grace, gentleness, and compassion for all. May your minds awaken in gratitude for the healing gifts of the animals. May your hearts radiate with the light of kindness. May you be the voice for the voiceless, a lighthouse for the lost, and a helping hand for the ailing. May all beings live in the peace, harmony, love, and compassion that is Reiki. May sharing the practice of Reiki with each other help us to remember our perfect inner light and healing potential. Let's hold these words for a moment in our hearts. And now, send them out with blessings and love into the universe. Enjoy this special day, friends, and as you travel the road of healing, may the animals light your way.
So, whenever you're ready, just bring your hands in Gasho and sit for a moment. Oh my gosh. I'm not prepared for that. All right, no, I'm good. Let us bring our hands into Gasho and let's just, if we can, get back into that space and just take a moment to feel gratitude and love in your heart for all of the animals that have touched you and brought you here today. And as we go forward into our night and into tomorrow, I ask that you just bring this loving energy of gratitude for the animals to your day tomorrow. Honor them by maybe listening to the prayer. You can find it on YouTube, or by just making your own dedication, but just taking a few moments to say thank you. Whenever you're ready, you can bring yourself back. And thank you all so much. Yes, it's a beautiful poem. So Mel said tears of joy, love and release. And Claudia said that was beautiful. And Diane, blessed be, and so it is. Yes, exactly. It's a beautiful poem. You can find it on YouTube. Like I said, if you just search World Animal Reiki Day, you'll find it. You can also find it on our website on Sarah, the Shelter Animal Reiki Association. Um, it- if you just even search World Animal Reiki Day, it's the first thing that pops up, and the page will pop up, and you can find the links there. But thank you all so much for joining me. I know I'm going to see some of you this weekend at the retreat, and we're very excited for that. And again, please be thinking about Kelly. I know she is in a lot of pain, and I know she's very bummed she couldn't be here today, and she's going to miss the retreat. So just sending her lots of love and support. And just want to acknowledge Rebecca said that was beautiful. Thank you, Rebecca. And Wilma said that was beautiful. Thank you, Leah, and everyone for the wonderful stories. Oh, and there's Kelly calling. She must think I'm done. And then Amanda, thank you, Leah. Blessings. And then Al, thank you so much. Yes, we hope you can make it again too, Al. And I'm glad you received so much today. And Karen, thank you, Karen, and hope you get well. And yes, get well to Kelly, definitely. Liza, thank you so much, Leah. It was wonderful to see you. Wonderful to see you too, Liza. And yes, happy World Animal Reiki Day. And Wendy said, thank you so much for this meeting. And everyone, yes, because it's not just me, it's all of us. And Wilma says, happy World Animal Reiki Day. Diane says, thank you. Liza said lots of love, and Diane says prayers for Kelly, and Nancy says thank you and good to see you. So thank you all. I'd just like to acknowledge you all in the chat and say thank you so much for being here. And Chris says thank you, everyone. Thank you, Chris. And thank you all for being here. I look forward to seeing you next week. I'll have lots to report about the retreat if you couldn't make it. So lots to share, especially the beautiful energy. But please do remember the animals tomorrow on the official World Animal Reiki Day. And I will talk to you all soon. Mwah. Bye.